Hello, hello. Welcome back, darlings. Welcome back. It's so good to be here with all of you. There's really not a better way to start a day than to be here in community with soul family, as the song is saying, anchoring deeper and further into our sovereign divine power, recognizing ourselves as divine, as one with the divine, mirroring in that back to the world and seeing everybody as divine. It's so good to be here with you all. It's a beautiful day. It looks like a beautiful day in all of your respective places and spaces. Bentley, it looks like a gorgeous day there. I saw in the chat, let me pull it up. Bonnie said her son sent her a double rainbow picture right outside of his dorm in Denmark, which is amazing. Double rainbow, Bonnie. I feel like even you sharing it in this container, we all get to experience and be part of the energy of a double rainbow, which is so beautiful. And yeah, really excited. Today is day 8, you guys. Day 8. We've got a full day today together. And then tomorrow will be our final day of this incredibly wonderful, amazing experience of connection not only to ourselves, the truth of who each of you is as divinity embodied, but our connection to each other, our connection to our soul family, and beyond that, God within and God without. So I'm really excited for today's conversation because we're going to really try to bring it all home. Today's source codex is I am fully human and fully divine. We live in a quantum universe. You are not either or, you are both and more. And the reason this codex seemed so crucially important and why we have daily embodiment rituals, why soul alchemy is all centered around embodiment, is because we are spirit first and foremost. We are spirit first and foremost. We exist within those higher dimensional planes and realms right now as angels, outside of time and space. And we chose to come and don a physical human body. We chose to incarnate onto this physical planet within the divine earth experiment, playing in this playground of duality, polarity, separation through the veil of forgetfulness, so that we could remember, we could awaken. That is awakening is. We could awaken to the truth, remember the truth, and embody that truth. However, what I know to be true is that so many of us, the star-seeded ones, the light warriors, we came into our body and we didn't feel safe. We landed into our body, and if you guys heard the Divine Mirror session, and if not, I invite you to go back and listen to it. Just yesterday, Erica was speaking about her journey with her son and how an autistic ADHD golden child, and how he was teaching her to support him in his spirit coming fully into his body. What happens is, oftentimes, if you are in your mother's womb and there's a lack of safety in that space, then it's hard to anchor fully into our body. When you're first born, in those first few years of your life, if there's no safety in your home, and we know that, especially as first parents, it's a challenge. There's a lot of challenges. My parents, the first couple of years of their marriage, lost their house. My mom was working at a hospital, and they were giving her diapers and formula so that I could be healthy and live. They lost their home. They lost their cars. My dad lost his business. They lost everything in those first 2 years. And my mom and dad were considering divorce. They were considering ending the marriage. And so there was a lack of safety in my environment, a lack of stability in my home environment. It was actually really challenging for me to land in my body fully. And I didn't know that until I became older. I had no idea. And honestly, how I uncovered that was in the last 5 years or so, when I started having conversations with my brother. My brother, who is not spiritual, he was never even religious. He's now recently found God within the church. We're navigating that. I'm really excited for him. I am, but it's it's this spiritual righteousness or religious righteousness of condemning. But I'm happy for him. I am. But he was never religious. He was never spiritual. And he had all of these memories of our childhood, all of these real, like, do you remember when? Do you remember when? I'm like, no, I don't remember any of that. And I started to realize and I started to search and seek answers from a spiritual place. And what I found out is because I didn't feel safe in my body. I didn't feel safe in my home. My parents' marriage was uncertain. There was a lack of safety in my environment. And so I never fully anchored in my body. I was always in disassociation. I was always living outside of my body, observing everything around me because I wanted to make sure I was safe. And that's what disassociation is. It's when we live outside of our body because we're in our mind up here and out. And because it feels safer, because this world is dense, you guys, this world is heavy. The polarity, the separation, it's hard to be fully embodied. It's easier to disassociate. And we have a world of people that are disassociating, don't we? Escaping, escapism, alcohol, drugs, TV, distractions, the ways in which we keep ourselves distracted. Because it's easier. It's easier to do that than to feel the emotions. It's easier to do that than to feel the full spectrum of your human emotions. It's easier to do that than to go deep into the pain, the most painful experiences of your life, your family's life, your other past, future lives. It takes such great courage and bravery. And each one of you here is that courageous and brave. You knew that you could do this. You chose the challenges, the pain, the heartache, even the difficult families and parents, the religious upbringing. You chose it all because you are great alchemists. And so what happens is when we experience great pain, great suffering, trauma, unsafety, we disassociate, we fragment parts of ourselves. We live outside of our body, our pain body, those lower three chakras. And I didn't really recognize it as that. Happy 11/11 here in Houston. I didn't realize, but so I've always known that our pain body is in the lower three chakras. I've always known that. Or recently, I mean, I've known that for a long time. What I love that Erica brought forward is that those are the consumption chakras as well, which I find really fascinating. The consumption chakras is where we're consuming energy to then create of ourselves. And so the lower three, oftentimes we talk about like having blocks to our throat or blocks to other parts of us. Really, that block here is a block of energy down here that can't make it up here. So the lower three chakras are where if you are familiar with the ascension glossary, it is called the human matrix or the ego matrix. It is that comprises Lacey, or this comprises Bonnie. This is Paul. Whereas the heart becomes the bridge. The heart is the bridge to the higher expressions of self. I'm sure you guys have heard of the indigo star seeds because the indigos were bringing forth the blue, the third eye, the crown, these higher frequencies of energy, of light, of color for our planetary ascension. And so we are now moving up. The heart becomes the fourth density. If you're familiar with law of one, the heart is the bridge. But most of us, a lot of us here, we feel comfortable and safe up here. And so the real work is about spiraling down into the solar plexus, into the sacral, and into the root of our being, the safety of our being, where we trust, where we feel that we are held, all of our needs are met. If you think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we can look at that exactly as our chakra system, right? Like it's pretty much exactly that. Self-actualization is what we all want and what we're all here to achieve. Self-actualization to me is embodying the blueprint, your original blueprint, and expressing it authentically, showing up as yourself. And so there's so much stuff down here that we carry: the shame, the blame, the pain, the trauma, all of that. So embodiment is alchemy. Alchemy is the key to embodiment, because what's happening is you are clearing out all that you're not. You're clearing out the pain. You're clearing out the separation, all of the gunk down here, so that, because again, we talked yesterday, Erica mentioned, like, if you just clear, 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 what are you filling up with? What are you filling back up with? Kind of like you getting rid of stuff in your house. There's good, are you going to fill it back up? What are you going to fill it back up with? So true alchemy, it's not about just clearing and getting rid of it, because then you're not doing anything with it. We want to do something with it. We want to alchemize it into our expansion. And then we want to bring our soul essence, our soul light down into our body to be embodied. We want to fill back up with who we are. So the true, and you guys, I'm sure, can resonate with the archetypes, because you are these archetypes of the priest, the priestess, the shamanic medicine man or medicine woman, these archetypes of the mystic. You are those archetypes. And what were these beings? They were a bridge between heaven and earth. They were a bridge between the spirit and the physical. They were those that could traverse the spiritual planes and bring wisdom, guidance, knowledge, information from these higher dimensional realms into this realm. That is what channeling is. Erica talking about channeling. Every single one of you here is a channel. Channel is becoming that bridge. That's why we do these practices where we're connecting heaven and earth through our body and being, because we are opening up our rainbow bridge to be a channel. Because the evolution of this planet is happening through each one of you. We are these incredible acupressure needles moving around the planet. And as we do that, the more that we become a bridge, the more that we clear out the stuff, the more clarity of flow through our body we can allow, the more light we can carry, the more light that we can hold, the more light that we can emanate. You guys know that being in the presence of really powerful masters, beings like much of the people that have spoken on our panel, on our Divine Mirror sessions, being in their presence is magnifying, magnetizing. Like, you can feel the energy moving. It feels beautiful and expansive. What you're feeling is their embodiment of their higher self. What you're feeling is the work that they've done to embody the divinity that they are. What you're feeling is them, the truth of who they be, undistorted, which is incredible. So that's what we're doing here. That is what ascension is. And I keep saying that ascension is not an up and out journey. The journey of ascension, that's the old world journey of ascension, where we feel like we need to escape this planet, where we feel like we're in a prison planet, we're locked in here, we need to go and meditate in a cave away from all of the 3D world so that we can be at peace, because we don't want to be bothered by the 3D world because it's stressful. So you have those lives. You can tap into those lives through your body, through the portal, every one of your cells, your heart. You've got portals within portals all inside of you. You're just a giant portal. So you have those lives. You can connect to those lives. Those lives of mastery are within your cellular architecture, your morphogenic genetic field. That's not this life. That is not this life. This life, we are not meant to exit, escape the matrix. We're meant to embody our higher self and become masters within the matrix. To learn how to create and transform the world in which we currently exist within, so that we can collectively co-create a new earth experience that is rooted in unity, love, truth, peace, world peace. For right now, it might seem like it's never going to happen. And I get emotional even saying that. It may feel like world peace is never going to happen on this planet. We've been at war for so long. But I'm here to tell you, every single one of you exists in the future right now, thousands of years from now, where there is no war on this planet. I've seen that future. I've felt that future. I know it exists. To me, there's no doubt in my body as to where humanity is going. There's no doubt in my body that we have won this war of consciousness on this planet. The old structures have been and are being dissolved at the energetic, ethereal levels. And then it takes some time for it to then manifest in physical form. But the power control structures that have existed, that have been controlling humanity's consciousness, it's gone. It's gone. But could you imagine what would happen? Like if they took away the veil of illusion, could you imagine what would happen if all of a sudden you guys were able to see the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, if you were able to see all of the energy that's around us, if you're able to see all the entities around us? Could you imagine what would happen to humanity if they all of a sudden could see the interdimensional extraterrestrial races that are existing among us right now? They would freak. It would be destruction. So it takes time. It takes time. Even disclosure, it's going to take time. Open contact, it's going to take time. Yes, I love that, Christoph. There's actually no war of good or bad, light versus dark. This is all about bringing the light through evolution. Exactly. That's what I love. Again, both and. Because we can swim in this idea, no good, no bad, no light, no dark, it's all God, it's all divine. True. So true. But then if you said, again, I'm not going to care about what's happening within the collective, and then you just pull away and you never stand up for what is right and what is true. And maybe you don't feel that you need to. That's good. That's your role in this life. But if you feel passionate or angry or there's change within this current experience that you're wanting to see manifest, and you're like, yes, this is my mission, this is what I'm here to change, then I invite you to not sit in non-action, because we can sit there and say, like, I am God, everything is perfect, right? Everything is perfect. And that can be emotional spiritual bypassing. So we're both and. No, there really is no good and bad. There's not. This war on consciousness, yeah, it is and has been a war. There has been a battle. There has been, many of us are commanders of ships. Many of us have fought this war. We have witnessed, it's deep within a lot of your beings that planets that you lived on no longer exist. My home planet is not, it doesn't exist in this now time space. But guess what? We're beyond time space. I can go visit it in the past. But many of us remember that. We remember the planet's Maldek that were completely destroyed, and the soul fragments of all the beings on those planets that we're now trying to reclaim and rehabilitate here on Earth. So the simultaneous, right? No good, bad, wrong, right. And also there's some things that are happening. There are entities of beings out there through the law of one that say, I am God, therefore I am able to take control because I am God. And they're called service to self beings. And they are out there taking the free will from God's creation. And you, me, people like us are like, no, we're not going to stand for that. That's not okay. God created us with free will. Free will was the original divine intention of our universal system. And so we're going to go and help liberate those. We're liberating ourselves. We're liberating this planet. We're liberating humanity here. Amazing. So embodiment. You are spirit. That is who and what you are. You are having a temporary experience as a human in physical form. But again, most of us don't feel safe being fully embodied. Most of us don't feel safe being in the density of this experience. And a lot of us didn't have families or environments that understood us for who we were, that weren't safe for us to fully express who we were and who we are. And so this is a reclamation. This is what we are reclaiming. This is what we are doing as a collective, is we're learning how to alchemize so that we can integrate alchemize the lower, the human, so that we can integrate the true soul self and be embodied in this now moment. Jesus, Buddha, the masters, that's what they did. That's why they were masters, because they fully integrated their higher aspects of being, their true self, and embodied in human form. And that was and is the original blueprint of the divine human. The original divine human that was created, that we're all remembering and coming back to, that 12-strand DNA. That is the blueprint. And that is also the blueprint that is located in Andromeda. It's also located in the core of our planet, but it's also located in Andromeda, and it's pristine, and it's being broadcast from Andromeda. There's a crystal star. They call it the Crystalla star. It is beautiful. If you can see it, you can feel it, however you perceive energy. And it is broadcasting the original human divine blueprint. There's also these solar discs. There's 12 solar discs planted on our planet. Each one of them tied. There were 12 races that supplied the DNA to create the divine human blueprint. And each of those 12 races has a solar sun disk tied to their planet, because the planets, the light, is what's broadcasting and being shared with us. So we're reactivating these solar sun disks. These solar sun disks are being guarded by dragons across our planet. I am honored to be a keeper of one of these particular sun disks, some of you here are keepers of these sun disks. I'm not unique and special, but that is one of them. That's why I'm so passionate about this work, because I know what we were created within and as, and I know, and I'm ready. I'm like, this is the return. This is what we're here for. This is what, we incarnated for. This is the time of way showing. This is the time right now. People like Jesus, Yeshua, they were prophesizing about now. Right now, 1987, the harmonic convergence, 2012, the return of Christ consciousness. We've received the return of the cosmic mother's energy to this planet. So many yummy things have returned right now. The internet finally being developed. Like, these were necessary pieces to the mass awakening of humanity. So how exciting that we get to do this work. So yeah, embodiment. It's a journey. It's a practice. It's the journey of alchemy. It's the journey of healing. It's the journey of returning to wholeness. It is all the same thing to me. I do not see any of that as separate or different. It's just different ways of expressing or explaining things. So it is quite literally the sacred process of merging divine consciousness with our physical vessel. It is quite literally the full integration of the soul into the body that allows our higher self to be fully present while still maintaining its connection to the infinite, to the all. So Lara talked about that, which I love. Humanity is going through a transmutation process. In the next thousands of years, we will no longer be made of carbon. Is that not wild? We will be crystalline. We will be crystalline beings. We are turning carbon to crystal. This is the transmutation process of the human. Part of that, and I love what she shared, not in this lifetime, but part of that is the bicameral human brain that has been existing in duality is going to merge together. And most of the our universe has a unicameral brain, meaning there is no separation in that. Yeah, well, of course, all of that information is channeled, Elena. That's only the information you're going to find about that stuff is going to be channeled information. Yeah. She asked, do you know about what 12 galactic races created our DNA? It's really hard to find that information unless it's channeled. Yeah, it's only going to be channeled information. Information doesn't exist in cuneiform texts on tablets, unfortunately. So that's why I say discernment. You've got to tune in, but you can find more information about that. TheAscensionGlossary.com. TheAscensionGlossary.com is an incredible resource. It might feel overwhelming for some of you newer spiritual beings. And I also say discernment because there's a lot of stuff on that website that is, when I feel it in my body, I'm like, nope. Like I literally feel a repulsion to it. And that's how I know that's not my truth. There's some misinformation, for example, on Thoth. Thoth is a guide of mine. Most of you guys too. I've worked with Thoth in ancient Egypt, and which then was called Chem, ancient Chem. And there's information on Thoth being, one of the, I'm going to use quotes because it's not one of the bad guys who went and stole the emerald tablets and then tried to make them his own. Well, I sat with that and I was like, that doesn't feel true to me. What is the truth for me around that? And the truth for me around that was that Thoth had, because he had Thoth, Osiris, all the same, Hermes, same person. He ascended beyond, which many of their ascended masters have, the need to die. He ascended beyond the need to leave this physical body. And so when you live that long, people don't know who is who. And so there was, I believe in that information, there was a initiate of Thoth that then went and did these things. And then there's the confusion of people believing that is Thoth. That's what I received. So again, I'm sharing that with you because I just want you to remember discernment around anything that you find. I've subscribed to the belief that I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So if I hear somebody, Alondra, can you clean up the line? Oh, here, no, I found it. Can you clean up the line? I can't figure out how to mute from here. So yeah, if you, and I say that because I would have no spiritual teachers if I did that. Because what I've found to be true for me is that not every single person that I follow do I 150% resonate with every single piece of information they share. And that's okay. That's okay. We're not meant to. We each have our own truths and experiences, because guess what? Here's another thing that gets really wild. We are changing the past right now. So when you start to, and there's Tom T. Moore, 12 different timelines, 12 different things happening. So perfect example of that is we just elected a particular president. In the higher timelines, a different president won, because we are wanting to see what it's like to play out an experience with. So again, it's all about experience. It's about learning. It's about growth. So it's like, what timeline are they tuning into? Kind of like Jesus. For me, absolutely, without a doubt, Jesus was not killed. He was not, it was a ritual. But I hear people like witnessing, and from what my perception is that there are also things called AI implants, where they can holographically create a scene where people think they're going back into a memory, and it's not a memory. It's actually an implanted memory, a holograph, so that they could believe that this is what happened. So all of that to be said is that there's a lot out there that might not be true, that people really believe in their heart, body, and soul because they saw it, they experienced it, they witnessed it, they received a divine download about it. And so that might be their truth. That might be the timeline they're tuned into. That might be the reality that they're tuned into, but that doesn't have to be yours. So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And also, Alina, I do talk about in the New Earth Ascension Academy, we do go into the Divine Earth Experiment. We do go into the seeding of humanity and the different waves of seeding of humanity. And it actually gets really wild, way more wild than our brain can think of. For example, worlds exploding and then collapsing into themselves to then create a whole new solar system of experience that then needs to heal so that it can harmonically rise. I mean, if we knew, and our human brains knew, that the complexity and intricacies of creation and what's actually taking place outside, we would probably explode, because it would be too much to handle in these human bodies, because it's just so far beyond what we understand to be true. It's literally sci-fi on steroids, the truth of our existence. So yeah. Yes, Christoph. Yes. That's exactly what I know to be true as well. Jesus through a channel said that used a Tibetan technique to slow his heart rate and breathing so slow that he looked dead. Absolutely. In fact, it's called the rite of the sepulcher. I deeply studied the Essenes. The rite of the sepulchre was a rite. So, for example, the mother to Anna was Mother Mary's mother. She was 900 years old before she left this planet. And how was because they had a technique called the rite of the sepulchre, where they knew how to slow their heart rate down so slow that they entered into a state of stasis, and their physical bodies could stay in that state for years. They were wrapped in wraps and they were put in, tombs, but they could stay in that state for years before they were awakened again. So again, reality, much more wild and magical and incredible than we could ever imagine it to be. And also, what I know to be true is that the Essenes had a specific ritual that was a crucifixion ritual. So there's just a lot there, a lot to unpack. We won't get too much more deeper into that here. Okay. Let's go into a little bit of the 3D stuff before I come back to more about embodiment. Before we do, I'm always in prayer and intention and anchoring and grounding before I come into these calls, setting the container. So you can all feel comfortable knowing that this container is held in divine protection and love. And that the moment that you guys arrive here, that you're already, in the energy and you're more presence. But let's go ahead and do it with a little more intentionality. So if you're in a place and space to do so, I invite you to go ahead and close down your eyes. And let's take 3 big, deep breaths into our heart. On the in breath, drawing all of your energy, your consciousness, your light back from all people, places, things, and realities, bringing it into the 0 point of your heart space, clearing your energy and aligning it with source. And on each out breath, opening your heart and expanding. So let's do 3 big breaths like that. And I invite you to open your mouth and make a sound. One more. Good, good, good. I can already feel you guys anchoring into your bodies. And let's go ahead now and call in the archangels of the horizontal and vertical plane to grid and activate the spaces around us now, so that each one of us is held in our own energetic sovereignty. This is your safe space. Inviting in God, source, creator, the infinite and divine to be felt within us and around us. And now we're going to open our crowns. And we're inviting Archangel Metatron, Sa, to bring down the ascension grid, this beautiful gold platinum stream of light, opening up our soul star chakra, which is right above our head, about 12 inches, 12 to 4 feet, depending. So just opening up our soul star chakra and allowing this flood of light to now move into the crown. And I invite you to really feel this light. Feel the electricity, feel the tingliness. Maybe it feels warm like honey. And inviting it into the crown, down into the third eye, cleansing, clearing, and aligning down into the throat. Feel it swirling around your throat, opening up the throat, bringing it down into the heart now. Just let it land here gently in your soul sanctuary. And now we're going to call in Archangel Sandalphon, Sa, to bring up the earth grid, the ascension grid. And so I invite you to open your root, and now going 12 inches below your root to the earth star chakra, opening the earth star. And we're just going to invite. You can even sip it, feel like you're sipping it like a straw. This beautiful stream of energy and rainbow light. All colors, shimmery, sparkly, iridescent, bringing it up into the earth star chakra. We're just going to let it swirl around there right beneath you for a moment. Just feel it. And now we're going to invite it up even further, and you can feel it coming into your feet. Feel this energy moving up your legs, your knees, your thighs. Feel it now as it comes up into your grounding cord, into the root. Just let it swirl around here for a moment. You are safe. You are safe to be fully embodied. You are safe to be fully present in this now moment. This is a safe space for you. Inviting it now up into the sacral, into the womb. If you are a womb carrier, just letting it swirl around into your creation center. If you are a man, you have something called a hara. It is your etheric womb. So allowing that to cleanse, clear, purify these pure frequencies. And then bringing it up into the solar plexus, anchoring into your I am, anchoring into your confidence, your personal power, cleansing, clearing, and aligning, and just allowing all of those lower chakras to become aligned with these higher dimensional frequencies of your soul's original blueprint. Imprinting these frequencies, bringing all incoherence into harmony now. And now invite it up into the heart. Here, you're going to bring heaven and earth together, the sacred and the sensual, the spirit and the body, the masculine and the feminine, all polarity, all separation, bringing it all of that together in the temple of your heart. Feel as the two become one. As your spirit, your soul meets your human self, as your spirit, as your soul meets your physical body. You are fully human and fully divine, both and more. And now inviting our hearts to open and expand. And I invite you to feel, sense, see, or imagine as your heart field, which is your electromagnetic heart field, is so much bigger than your brain. So we're going to invite that field to grow, to expand. And you can see this toroidal energy flow moving between heaven and earth through your body. This rainbow bridge of light moving through you. And the toroidal energy goes up and out, cascades over your head and comes back down around your body and comes back up through your root. So I invite you to just see that energy, bringing it from the root up the center line, cascading over your head, down to the root, bringing it back up again, just drawing this line with your intention. All you have to do is intend, and it does it on its own. One more time, bringing it up through the center line of the body, up and over, around the top of the head. We're going to reverse it now. We're going to bring it down through the top of our head, down, 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 out the root, and bringing it up around the body, bringing the energy now down into the top of the head, through the center line, and up around the body. One more time, drawing that line down through the top of the head, through your center line, and up around the body. Inviting your heart and brain to come into coherence. Taking a few deep breaths, just swimming in this beautiful crystalline energy. And whenever you're ready, you can open back up your eyes and come back into the space. Just feeling more connected, feeling more embodied, more present. That practice is a daily practice for me. I call it energy hygiene. Energy hygiene, and it looks different every day for me because sometimes I do what Nita just did. I'll do an infinity sign. Is that what you were doing, Nita? An infinity sign? Yeah, I saw you. I'll do that too. My other favorite one to do is an infinity sign between the two hemispheres of the brain, because our logical linear thinking and our creative thinking. So that's another way I do it. My favorite is this third one. This is where the heart becomes the center of the infinity. And so you're actually drawing it more this way. So you connect up to the pineal gland, down to the heart, and then out to the womb, the sacral, and then back to the heart. Because true embodiment, our body deva, we've mentioned that word before, the body deva, meaning the body spirit. Your body is conscious, your body is sentient, your body is an angel. It is an angel. It lives in your lower chakras. It actually lives in the womb or the hara. So when we are talking about getting grounded and embodied, it's not, we want to bring it even further down than the heart, even further down into the root, the sacral, the womb, and the hara space. So I like to say that we can sink, the brain sinks into the heart and it's like, oh, I'm held right here. Amazing. This is where my true intelligence lives. And then the heart gets to rest in our creation center. And it's those three centers that are our receptive centers. Whereas we're receiving here, we're receiving here, and we're receiving in the womb as well. So those are our receptive centers. So when we connect them together, it's connecting our heart, our mind's intentions with our heart's intentions, with our creative intentions. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So, okay, let's keep going. I'm going to pull up. Do you guys feel more present? Did that feel good to just, collect your energy and run energy really quick like that? Yeah, that's how quick and simple it can be. Those are the micro alignment practices. I think you may have heard and noticed that almost every single one of our teachers, Steve, Erica, all of them have an energy hygiene practice. All of them recognize that the psychic field is messy. And if we want to truly be an energetic sovereignty, if you are truly wanting to become a master of your energy, then energy hygiene is a non-negotiable. It's not like, oh, that'd be nice. It's a no. Please do it because you're going to feel better. Please do it because you're going to have more energy. Please do it because you're going to be able to think your own thoughts and feel your own emotions as opposed to thinking everybody else is around you. All right. So today, day 8, I am fully human, fully divine. I just want to give you guys a little bit of notes about what we've got going on. I lost my chat. We only got less than 2 days together. Oh, it's so sad and also so joyous too, because celebrating each and every one of you and how far you've come already in this short time. Your willingness, your openness to show up vulnerably and allow yourself to be seen and held. You guys have inspired me profoundly. Okay. I want to let you guys know replays are available. This will be I'll say it one today and tomorrow, but replays are available March 21st. That's a week from Friday. If you want unlimited access, $33. It goes up tomorrow. It'll go up tomorrow. So get it now. There's so much yumminess in this container too. I feel like it would be so amazing to get to come back to these replays, to remind yourself of the rituals later when you're like, oh, there was a ritual that I did that was so good. What was that? You can also go screenshot all the rituals and save them on your computer too. I welcome that. But if the replays and you like to have it in like a really organized space like that, then I invite you to get those. Today is the final day to catch up on your embodiment rituals. We've got one final ritual today, one final ritual. And then I will do the drawing tonight. So I'll even record it, a little piece of it to share with you guys, just the ceremony, because it is a ceremony. I'm not the one that picks. Spirit tells me who to put in the drawing, and then I let Spirit choose. Fawn, who's been here with us, Fawn was the one who won last year. And Fawn, I don't even know if you completed all of the embodiment rituals, Fawn, which is really funny. But Fawn showed up at every single call, and it's like 2 a.m. for him right now, or like 1 a.m. So he stayed up. And so his devotion and dedication to this experience is what inspired me so much. And I was like, let's put him in there. Let's see. Spirit's the one that picks, not me. And Fawn won. So yeah, it was incredible. And I was so grateful and gracious to get to spend more time with you. So it's really beautiful. So my calendar is currently open for one-on-one clarity calls, free one-on-one clarity calls, 30 to 45-minute sessions to serve and support you and getting greater clarity around what you're here for, what your mission and purpose and intention is, what is holding you back. We want to get greater clarity, go a little bit deeper than maybe you're able to go on your own, which is the beauty of having a mirror, having a coach or a mentor or somebody that can help guide you into your own exploration, because you have all the answers within. And sometimes we just need somebody to help mirror to us, with us, support us in that way. And then my intention is to talk about soul alchemy, or if you are someone that's like, I would love to maybe work one-on-one with Lacey, what could that look like? What could that be like? We can talk. Some of you guys have really unique situations. Some people have reached out to me, and I feel that one-on-one would just be a better option. So we'll explore that together in those sessions. I do have a couple of partial scholarships left for anyone who can't access the program otherwise. And I will be offering different pricing for those learning they're living in a developing country. And then the last thing I wanted to add, surprise to all of you amazing beings that have already said yes. We've got Nita here on the call. We've got Bonnie here on the call. Who else do we have? Tammy on the call, Heather on the call. All of you amazing, beautiful beings that have already said yes, that is going to be journeying together in soul alchemy. Next Thursday, 3/20, is the spring equinox. And I am adding a new soul alchemy bonus that if anybody signs up before by the end of this week, or really, I guess before the event itself, that's fine. That works. Yeah. Before the event, because enrollment will stay open for another week and a half after that. But if you sign up for Soul Alchemy, then you will be invited to come to this 3-hour ceremony. We're going to do a 3-hour spring equinox ceremony. Spring equinox is a time of planting seeds. It is the time, Nita says, yay. Yeah, I really want you guys to, I work in conjunction with the natural seasons, the natural ebb and flow of our planetary experience, because I found when you work against it, then you're just asking for trouble. It's like trying to all of a sudden be super actionable in the middle of winter when it's snowing outside and all you can do is like sit inside. So we want to work with the season. So spring equinox there's this beautiful ceremony that I lead, and I've guided this a few years now, where we're going to go into the temple, our own garden, our own creation garden located in our womb and hara. And we are going to plant our seeds of desire for this year. What is it that you're wanting to experience? What is it that you're wanting to, what kind of breakthroughs are you wanting to have? What are you wanting to step into, right? All the good stuff. And we're going to plant those seeds of desire, and then we're going to start seeing what's there. We're going to see what weeds are there. Weeds are the limiting beliefs and all the things that say, and we're going to start weeding the garden through our ethereal realms, through our spiritual realms. We're going to do that first, and then we're going to do the action, the physical action during our container. So we're going to plant those seeds of desire. We're going to start weeding the garden. We're going to give them the water that they need. We're going to give them the sun that they need. And we're going to do a ceremony and be in ceremony together to really, I use this, I don't want to, the word came through, take advantage of, but I don't like that. That doesn't feel good in my body. To work with and to maximize. Thank you. I like that, Richie. That works. To maximize the energies that are available to us right now in this moment. We're in the middle of an Andromeda activation. I've got my calendar here. Meaning that our sun is in a direct alignment with the star Andromeda. And so we are going to work with the energies of the eclipse, all the energies the energies of the spring equinox. And so we're going to work with them in ceremony, in a ceremonial container, which is really beautiful. So if you guys are like, I want to be a part of that, this 3-hour ceremony, then I invite you to get in my calendar so we can talk about the soul alchemy to see if it's a right fit for you. And my calendar is open right now. If you want to put that in the chat, that would be amazing. You can put the soul alchemy in the chat as well. And we'll get to the final embodiment ritual later. I want to share just a little bit more with you. And then I've got a special guest to share with you guys. I'm excited. So just a few more. I think I'm telling her that more than I'm telling you guys that. Just a little bit more, Annie. Just you wait. You're coming, my love. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about embodiment, because it really does segue beautifully into everything else. So I love it. I have all these notes, and I've already spoken all of those notes without the need of those notes, because I know this stuff so well now, because it's what I live. It's what I practice. And that's embodiment, you guys. That is embodiment. Embodiment is, so we get information, and we get inundated with information. And it's like, what are you doing with that information? Are you taking action? Are you living your life in accordance with that truth? And that's what embodiment is about. It's about living in integrity, not just knowing that you are one with God or the divine, not just knowing that you are limitless, but living your life in accordance with that truth. And that's what happens over time. That happens when you practice. That's the whole purpose of practice. That's how we become masterful. We don't just do things one time and think that we're going to be wonderful at it. We do it again and again until it's so ingrained in our being that it's just who we are, which we got to hear from Solara Rose. Solara Rose had shared that she was doing 3-hour practices, being in a love soiree with God for 3 hours every day before she'd start her day. And now she's let go of those practices because she's done it for so long that you can feel it, you can see it, you can hear it, that she is the embodiment of that which she teaches and speaks and shares. That's what living in integrity is. So from a spiritual perspective, we kind of went over again the alchemy, bringing down your soul self to be embodied in this now moment through purification practices. And purification practices is the alchemy, clearing the thoughts, the beliefs, the pain, the trauma within your nervous system and body, within your DNA and cells, so that you can embody the fullness of who you are. And this is through dedicated self-awareness and dedicated work or play, whichever you want to say it as. Dedicated being, dedicated to your beingness, being dedicated to embodying who and what you really are, which is love. So why now? Why now? Why is this call for embodied ascension? We talked about it a little bit, but again, before, ascension was seen as an individual act, ascended master. And we also saw it as like the requirement to release the body, to ascend up and out the body, to release the physical body. And it was the individual. Whereas now we're in this era of collective ascension. Collective ascension is that meaning we are all here to ascend while remaining embodied as an act of service to humanity, as an act of service to the earth. We're becoming the embodiment of, so that we can support others. It's a collective ascension. The whole planet is ascending, whether people like it or not. And I'm going to be real with you guys. I wasn't going to say stuff comes through that wants to come through. Not everybody's choosing ascension. Next year, there's going to be a mass wave of people leaving this planet. And I say that in love, but they're choosing that. There's going to be a massive wave of people leaving this planet. And when they leave this planet, many of them won't reincarnate back into the system. Many of them will reincarnate into a new planetary system that is going to support the continued evolution of their soul through separation and duality, because that's not what's happening here. Earth is moving beyond that. We are experiencing a collective ascension, and you're either riding that wave, or your soul is going to get to choose a new experience. So collectively, we are ascending. That's where we're going. And right now, our Earth has entered into what they call the photon belt. This photon belt is a massive injection of light, of energy that's supporting rapid ascension on this planet. If you look at our solar planetary cycle, we're still in the Kali Yuga. We're like barely coming out of it. We're like barely because there's this 24,000 year cycle of descension as we move away from our planetary center, galactic center, and ascension as we move closer to it. You could see Shannon's image. I've seen images similar to that. Hers is really good. That her beloved created that. We're barely going towards our center, but we've entered into this massive photon belt that's creating rapid ascension on our planet. So it's not going to take 12,000 years for us to get to the golden age. We're going to be in this golden age very soon. And when I say very soon, within the next 1,000 years, very soon. That's soon. That's soon, considering Atlantis, Lemuria was 60,000, 30,000 years ago. So very soon, very quickly. And so there's planetary shifts, there's geomagnetic recalibrations, there's a restructuring of the energetic architecture. All of this is supporting our rapid ascension. This is the age of embodied enlightenment. This is the time for us to anchor our light codes into the physicality. This is our time to be those bridges between heaven and earth. And we mentioned some of the challenges already, right? Some of the challenges are polarized inner masculine, inner feminine. Some of the challenges to our own embodiment is that we're too embodied in our masculine or too embodied in our feminine. We maybe anchor further into one and the two are still at war. If there's part of you that is still non-trusting of the masculine outside of you, then you're not trusting the masculine inside of you. There's a part of you, if your inner masculine and feminine are still at war, then and if you don't fully love both God the Father and God the Mother, if you haven't fully forgiven your own mother and father, if you have past partnerships of male or female or relationships, then your inner masculine and feminine is still at war. So we are inner masculine and feminine, and we also become very disconnected from our sensory awareness, our emotional intelligence. And the body is the subconscious. You can literally substitute body and subconscious. They are one and the same. So the body is speaking to us. We know that our conscious sentient mind, it only knows what it's experienced in this lifetime, but the body is speaking to us our wounding through our DNA. It's speaking to us about our wounding through our other lifetimes. Our body is communicating to us beyond our locality, meaning the local mind. Our body exists in a quantum state. It knows. So the body is essential in this process. It is communicating to us through our sensations and through our emotions. And so embodiment requires awareness. It requires us to be fully present and to surrender into presence, learning how to be present in this moment. If you're in your mind, you're not in presence, because your mind is going to be thinking about the past, trying to remember what happened so that it can predict the future and keep you safe and alive. That's what it does. And the mind, that's where our inner critic, it goes wild. It's so judgy. All right. So the mind, it keeps us in disassociation. But we can't be embodied if we don't feel safe in our body, if we don't trust our body. And we have been taught to not trust our body. We've been taught not to trust our emotions. We've been taught not to trust our intuition. We've been taught that the mind is a more clear form of intelligence. We've been taught that our emotions need to be suppressed, repressed, that crying is not, if you're a man and you cry, then you're weak. If you're a woman and you ask for help or you're too emotional, then that's weakness. Then you're hysteric. Right? Like we've been taught to demonize our body, to hate our body, to look at our body and wish it was different. We've been taught to reject our body and our emotions and our intuition. And all of those are interconnected. They're one and the same. So we need to regain consciousness and body awareness within our body, noticing the sensations. If you're somebody that doesn't really feel energy, when we do these meditations, if you don't feel energy, meaning if you don't feel expansion, electricity, warmth, if you don't feel those things, then we really need to work on you feeling safe in your body first. So the body's wisdom, we need to honor our needs, engage with the body in a present moment awareness. So embodiment, dedicated awareness, self-awareness, being present. You can't be, if you're not present, then you can't notice when you're in dysregulation or when your emotions are speaking to you. So awareness, practices that help us cultivate greater awareness to be able to focus. So when we can do this through, one, observing the sensations in our body, observing when we get tense, observing when we're with somebody or we enter into a room or a space and it doesn't feel safe. noticing when we're in contraction, or noticing when we feel open. The openness is your yes. This is your freedom. This is love. The opposite is your no. Tracking your emotional responses. You can speak out loud. We want to distance ourselves from our emotions as not identifying with them, like, I am sad. You're not sad. Sad's not who you are. Sad is an emotion, a temporary experience. You are experiencing sadness. So, not claiming I am sad, I am angry, but instead, that's a beautiful, subtle shift. I'm experiencing anger right now. Amazing. You're not identifying with it. You're not attaching to it. You're not claiming it as part of you, but instead, you're saying, I'm experiencing this. It gives a bit of a detachment. And so you can give voice to those hidden emotions. Speak out loud. What do you feel? Tap along with it. Yesterday, Erica gave a great practice of self-consumption, taking it, just all it was just breathing. I like tapping, but you could do it both, tapping and breathing, deep, deep, deep belly breaths, activating the vagus nerve, tapping on your meridians while you're feeling the contraction, while you're feeling the anger, the rage, the pain. And they say, Erica said it yesterday too, it takes about 90 seconds to fully feel an emotion before it moves through your body. The reason we feel anger, sadness for hours, for days, for weeks is because we aren't allowing ourselves to fully feel it. I've had direct experience of that, where I had a friend say something that was really hurtful. And I was like, I don't have the space to deal with this right now. And I felt awful for 2 days. 2 days, I just felt not myself. And I was like, okay, I have to address this, or I'm not going to feel myself again. And so, you know what I did? I led myself through my own rage ritual, and I got mad and I got angry because I was mad at her. I really was. I was hurt, but I was mad. And then under the anger, I found sadness. And under the sadness, I found fear. And under the fear, amazing. Oh, I love that. Sarah says that Erica's been using tapping in her sessions too. Amazing. Yes. I wondered that. I was going to ask her. So I'm really glad to hear you share that. Thank you, Sarah. So yeah, tracking your emotional responses, giving them space to be fully felt, that is alchemy. Moving with presence is another way to become more embodied. Practices like dance, yoga, breathwork, qigong, all kundalini yoga, all of these practices help you move stored tension, stored stress, stored anxiety from your body. It helps. Dr. Summer Nicole, I love that. You guys don't need X Factor. I think that's what it was called. S Factor. You don't need that. All you have to do is say, I'm feeling angry. I'm going to move in anger. What does that look like? What does anger look like? Well, it might look like this. It might look punching the pillow. It might look like my favorite, because sometimes punching things can hurt. My favorite is you actually just stand against a wall and you push it really hard. And that helps release anger. Another thing is punching, because how many lifetimes, how many experiences as a child did you feel helpless, hopeless, where somebody was bullying you or picking on you, or lives where you lost your life and you wanted to fight back, but you didn't. You froze, you were frozen. So even though you're not trying to punch at a person, that's not what we're wanting to do, but even the punching, just feeling like I get to fight back, because as Dr. Summer Nicole said, trauma is an incomplete nervous system response. So we want to complete that response. And the only way to do that is to feel the emotions through the body. So moving with presence, engaging in embodiment practices like breath work. Yesterday, we experienced breath. Breath is a great tool to access unfelt emotions. Dance, embodiment, a great tool to access unfelt emotions. Danielle, yes. She says she tells her kids to hit a pillow or scream. Or to scream and let it out, or to dance. Yes, I thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my love, for showing children that their emotions are safe. Thank you for showing children that their emotions are welcome, that they're not something to demonize. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, okay. Erica, it looks like you sent a question to Alondra by accident, and that's okay. It says, would there be energy to share how to grapple with my 2K social security being cut? I'm in my 60s and it is helpful now It is so helpful now. It seems I am preparing for loss of it. Oh, okay. Um, a little off topic for right now. So let's put it to the side and we'll come back around to that because I really want to bring up Annie here in a moment. We're almost there, Annie. Almost there. A couple more minutes, I promise. Awesome. Okay. Alina, how can we find more info on the partial scholarships? Email me. Email me or email me and schedule a call with me. Email me and get in my calendar and we'll talk about it. Awesome. And sensorial pleasure, our senses are a gateway to the body. Our senses are a gateway into our body. So when you are tapped into pleasure, feeling pleasure in the present now moment, that's a gateway into embodiment. Touch yourself, hold yourself. When you're eating a strawberry, don't be thinking about something else. Don't eat dinner with the TV on. You can't taste your dinner when the TV's on. You cannot multitask. It's not real. It's a complete lie that there's no such thing as being a good multitasker. Your energy will be diverted. So turn off the TV, eat with your eyes closed. Really allow yourself to savor every moment through your senses. The sun on your face, outside, your toes in the wet grass. Be present with your physical senses. Give yourself pleasure. Do things that feel good, that you enjoy. Make beauty in the world around you. These are the things that bring me joy. This is the beauty that I love. Annie, I want to be mindful of your time. Okay, let's love and honor your body, treating it as the sacred temple it is, which is going to be our embodiment ritual for today. And to, again, just the embodiment is the path of divine realization. Embodiment is the path of divine realization. It is to embody is to become, to bring the divine truth of who you are into every breath, into every moment, into every choice. It is the conscious alchemy of transforming. As you deepen into your body, you do become more present. You do become more grounded. You do become more attuned to life. You are able to appreciate life so much more. You become the bridge between heaven and earth. Embodiment is not something that you do. It's really something that you allow. And it is an art. It is an art. So that is the journey that we're all on, becoming fully embodied here, right now, fully present. Because this is the only moment that your power exists within. Your creative life force power exists right here, right now. And if you are traversing the past and the future in your mind, then you're not creating in the now, nor can you appreciate the now. And that being said, I've got a guest for you guys today, and this woman is somebody who has mastered the art of appreciating the moment. You really have. I'm going to bring up Annie. I'm going to spotlight her here. I'm going to do this little dance that I do. I'm going to remove my spotlight. I'm going to add it back so I can see you at the top. Annie, it's such a pleasure and an honor to have you on today. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad. I'm just happy to see you. Honestly, I've missed you, dear.
No, it's wonderful to be here. It's such an honor to be in your presence again and to be in this container.
It's an honor to be in your presence again, my love. Genuinely, it's truly the energy of us all walking each other home. And you guys, the reason I invited Annie to come and speak with you guys today is because I learned so much from her when she took the New Earth Ascension Academy program last year. I was consistently inspired by her devotion. She showed up in this container already with lots of coaching and practices under her belt. And she'd been doing the work for years already. And she came in a beautiful sparkle being with lots of wisdom to share. And it was just thrilling and amazing to witness that somebody who's already at the level and capacity that Annie was can still experience so much more And I'm so excited for you guys. Wendy's here. Wendy says, Annie, you're glowing, a glowing, gorgeous woman that you are, my love. So, Annie, yeah, I'm really excited. Please share a little bit about your journey and your experience.
Thank you so much. I receive all of that. And I just to model for everyone else, that was a very hard practice for me to receive the compliments and reflection from everyone else. And that's one of the things that really brought out of me in this group container. So I do want to start just to a little background. I came in this container with this very strong intention. I have been doing the work for many, many years, a couple of decades, I would say by this time, but all on my own. I was at a point where I was just acquiring, summit after summit, and I would follow different teachers and I would go on YouTube channels. And so I thought I was doing great. I had all this knowledge and had all these practices, but I came to a point where I felt like something was missing. I felt like there was something just beyond my physical touch that I could feel, but I didn't know how to get there. And so I decided, I was like, well, I need some coaching. I need to like start investing in myself. And I came upon your summit and I loved your energy. I mean, you appealed immediately to me on my left brain. Again, like all the information, you're a treasure trove of information. It's unbelievable how much knowledge and information that you have. But at the same time, you embody so much of it and everything comes so naturally. And that's the thing that really, really drove me to you. It's like, wow, you're this amazing soul. I have to be more in your presence. And so that was one of the reasons. And I was going through a difficult time with my ex. And so I thought, this would be a wonderful container for me to just, work these challenges out. And so, yeah, so that was one of the reasons why I came in. And one of the things that it's just so synchronistic that I came on this day because you and I have been trying to plan the day that I'll come on and the schedule didn't work out and today I wasn't even aware that it was embodiment. Today we'd be focusing on the topic and that was one of my strong intentions, going back to my years and years of spiritual growth, which I felt like spiritual growth, but something was missing. And the embodiment part was the part that was really missing. And the practices that you brought into our container, the breath work, the tapping, the grounding, the activations. I mean, every single time we would start with very deep embodiment, and that just set the entire container. I felt the part that was missing, and I started to play around with the different energies. And from that point on, it was just like growth after growth after growth. And it was just, deconditioning, right? Because a lot of times when you're in your head, you think that things should go a certain way because that's how it's been in the past, at least for me. But I got to a point where, angelic Reiki was one of the classes that we went on. In the very beginning, I thought I had to experience certain things. So I would kind of like force myself to think, oh, yeah, I felt that too, from the shares. And then when we did the angelic Reiki 3 and 4, I was like, nope, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and surrender. And if I don't experience what everyone else experienced, that's fine. I'm going to be authentic. And that was my promise to myself that I would be authentic and be vulnerable. And one of the things that one of the shares that I did during the angelic Reiki session, which was very difficult for me, was that the next day we were, everyone was sharing, do you guys have dreams or, what was your experience after the Reiki session? And everyone had all this like fantastical, experiences. And I came on and I was like, well, no. Afterwards, I went out, I drank, and went to a UFC fight, and I had this awful nightmare. And it was very difficult for me to come on and just share that piece of me. But then I was received with so much um, acceptance, which I did not expect. I thought, people would be like, "Oh God, what is going on with her?" Um, like it was so unspiritual. But to be seen, and held and supported and just be reminded, like, no, that is not unspiritual, um, was like I felt like the shell just disintegrated and I was able to like expand and lift, and it was like, wow, this is what I was missing. Like I just needed to be seen and be accepted. And that was one of the great gifts that I had from being in this group and allow myself to be vulnerable and to share,
Mhm.
which growing up was not something that I was allowed to do.
Oh, Annie. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that moment. I really do. And I remember, and I think there's something so beautiful about your willingness and on anyone else here. There's so many of us, so many of you. I even just today, I can't remember exactly who it was. Just today, somebody had mentioned in our chat around the fear of being seen.
Yeah.
And I know that that exists within all of us, this fear of being seen. We're so afraid of others judging us. And so what you shared and I mean, it just warms my heart because that is my intention is to curate safe spaces for people to be seen and loved fully and accepted fully. And we haven't maybe always had that, and sometimes our family is not that, sometimes our friend group might not be that. And in that moment you showed up feeling shameful, and it was able to just dissolve and disintegrate because you offered that shame, you offered yourself and courage and bravery to the group. And then you realized, oh, and your body, you're like, oh, it's safe. I'm safe here. These are safe people. Oh, and they don't judge me. Then why am I judging me?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. That just puts so much awareness on my own judgment. Like no one
Mm-hmm.
else is judging me. Why am I putting myself into this little shell?
And that's, I think, one of the most beautiful things about group work is
Yeah.
that when we are mirrored back in so much love, when we are held in so much love, when we share vulnerably parts of us and we allow ourselves to be seen, it is cathartic. It's healing for all involved because your share was healing to each and every one of us. Every other person there that felt shameful about choices and decisions that they've
Mhm.
made, they too got to realize, oh, we're human. We're all just having this human experience. We're not here to judge each other. We're here to love each other. So I had a memory come up when you were speaking, and I would love to speak into this a little bit. One of the things, so many things impressed me about you and who you be and just your own journey. And one of the things, if you remember this, there was we learn how to tune into our field, how to clear our field, to notice if there's any cords of attachment. And you sensed into a cord of attachment. You were feeling a lot of sadness. If you want to, I'm going to I'm going to hand it over to you. But what I loved about what you're about, if you want to speak into it a little bit, was how you took what you had learned and became empowered by it. And then were able to do the work on your own outside of the container, able to uncover things. So I would love for you to speak a little bit into that experience because I think it's really inspiring.
Yeah. It goes back to embodiment. That was the part that I realized that throughout the years, it was a way for me to escape, to
Mm.
keep acquiring and to avoid the practice. I remember one time I was on a walk and I voice noted you and I said, I really need to embody, like I just had this download and, and, I took it to heart. I was like, okay, this is a message. This is guidance from my divine team. And this embodiment allowed me, I felt there are parts during this part of this journey, I had challenging time and I had a lot of anger. I had a lot of anger toward, my husband, toward my kids, toward my ex. And it was really unfair. A lot of times your emotions just kind of overcome you. But with these practices, I realized that I felt into it and I was like, okay, what is this anger? What is this anger teaching me? What is it showing me? What is it reflecting to me? And it was I realized it's just a lot of deep sadness.
Mm.
And I kept pulling a thread. What is that sadness about? And it was a lot of it was just not being seen, not being heard. I just felt like, well, I had to be angry because I wasn't seen and heard. Um, and I realized that, everyone else's anger reflection to me was just, I just had to have a lot of compassion. I had to have, first I had to have compassion for myself
Mm.
in order to have compassion for others. So that I've had this journey, and it was because I had that reflection in such a very safe, loving container. And one of the practices that I learned from you was asking good questions.
Mm.
You know, we would do our shares, and then you would, you would come back and just pure curiosity. You had just so much curiosity, and you asked like these incredible deep questions, but it was never in a way to put us on, to put us on the spotlight. It was just based on your curiosity and just like, have you thought of this? Or, what if it's this? And it was just, it got me thinking other directions. And it was very, very helpful. And I love the way that you ask like these beautiful
Mm.
questions.
Thank you, darling. I think question asking is an art,
Yes.
especially when we're, because self inquiry in and of itself is an art. So I learned how to ask good questions because of my own self inquiry. And then I think it is even an art when you're getting to mirror back to each other because it's just helping you go deeper. And that's what I love. I believe a good coach, a good mentor, a good guide is somebody that doesn't tell you all the time. They help you explore because you have the answers within you. And so helping you explore those answers and just helping gently kind of pull them out.
Right.
And another thing that I was also really impressed by is there was a moment where you guys had a loss in your family and your I think it was your ex-husband,
Yes. His sister.
his sister. And I remember you were feeling incredible amounts of sadness, just deep, profound sadness. And in the exploration of that, you were able to realize there was a cord of attachment.
Oh,
You remember
yes,
that?
yes. Now I do. Now I remember. Um, yeah, I could not understand. It's actually my ex. We weren't married, but his sister, we never got along. I mean, we were together, my ex and I were together for almost 20 years. And his sister, we got along, but we were never really close. And I always felt like there was an emotional distance between us. And when she passed, for some reason, I just felt so much sadness. And I couldn't like logically explain like why did I feel this deep loss, this deep sadness. And I felt sadder and more lost than like my children who had this was their aunt. And after further inquiry, I realized it was not my sadness. It was not my sadness that I was feeling, but I was really feeling to the field. It was actually the other sister who I was very close with. It was her loss and I knew it was a mother. I knew it was a mother energy because it was
Mhm.
like, okay, this has to be something very close to my heart.
Mhm.
And I felt into it and I realized it was her energy and her sadness that I picked up on. And I was like, okay, wow, that makes so much sense.
Mhm. Yeah, and what I love that story is that I we the container didn't need to be a part of that. You were feeling and noticing the sadness. You went into your own self inquiry. You then were able to tune in because you again angelic reiki and all the work prior obviously, but you really learned how to tune into the subtle energy. You really learned how to listen because so much of what we did in New Earth Ascension Academy and what we'll be doing in Soul Alchemy is you're meant to be able to be able to work with the guides because you're working in angelic Reiki, you're working with the divine, you're working with spirit, you're learning how to communicate with your own higher self, you're learning how they communicate to you. And so you're able to then start to tune in and perceive energy and feel energy and receive divine downloads. And maybe you might hear it a certain way, or maybe you might see it a certain way. Annie has ability to see and perceive through visions. And so all of us have different ways in which we perceive the subtle energy around us, known as our clairs. And so I just was so, it was like this happy mentor moment where I was like, she just had an incredible breakthrough and she just reclaimed some
Yeah.
sovereignty and she was able to
Yeah.
tune into her energy field and to be able to feel. And she navigated that all on her own, which is amazing and really beautiful. And I think also too, there's something to be said about the importance again of energy hygiene and we want to feel our own emotions and sometimes we do process other people's emotions. You better believe when you come into a group container that sometimes there is a sharing of that emotional field and sometimes we're like, yeah, okay, I'm not going through a lot right now, but I know she is, so I can hold some stuff for her. And there's something really beautiful about the group energy in that way that we can do that. But yeah, for the most part, you want to be in energetic sovereignty, which is what I really love about any of the things I do is teaching you energetic mastery. And then when you're in states of dysregulation or when you're in states of emotional, then you can tune in. What's there? Get curious. What's there? How can I? And you become, and that's sovereignty. That's mastery.
And it's a remembrance.
It's a
It's
remembrance.
yeah, because when I was going through, it just seemed so obvious,
Mm,
after that process, like of course that's what it is. And you have to
right.
feel into it. It was a true remembrance.
The other thing I want to bring forward is we got to talk a little bit. Annie met with me. We got on the call a little bit early before you guys were allowed into the room, and we got to talk about it. And I was sharing with her that God has always been a part of my life, the divine source, creator, whatever it is that you want to call the great spirit that breathes and lives through each and every one of us. And much of our container last year within the Near Earth Ascension Academy was around that. It is bringing you into closer, deeper relationship with God. And I do believe that was one of the things that you had written, even in your maybe your feedback form, if I remember correctly. I would love to kind of hear a little bit about that, your journey into that deeper trust or even that deeper devotion or just in deepening that relationship.
Oh God, it was I have to say I never talked to my divine team before this experience. I, of course, heard about it. I thought that's so strange. Like why would I talk to myself? And I knew intellectually that we had spirit guides and we have divine team. We have our wonderful angels and our ancestors and ascended masters, but I never had a relationship. Well, not that I was aware of,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
Not that I was conscious of. Um, but now, like angelic with the angelic Reiki, I felt their energy. I was able to recognize individual energies, which was like, wow, I didn't even think that was possible for me. I thought it was possible for everyone else, but not for me. And it's kind of growing. Like I have to keep developing it,
mm-hmm,
but it was a very eye-opening experience, and that's really the key term is the experience. Not just knowing about it, not just hearing about it, but to actually say, "Oh wow, yeah, I I have a team. I have a team that loves and supports me. I talk to them every day, at least once a day,
mm-hmm,
at all times. Should I have coffee or tea? I think I'm gonna have tea, or just minor little things like I just at every opportunity I just talk to my team and they're always with me. And when I wake up in the morning, I connect to my little parts too. It's like all these little practices that I built up, and now it becomes a little bit more natural. But I always ensure, especially when things get challenging, it's like,
mm-hmm,
okay,
mm-hmm,
team, let's get this done. Um, and it's definitely a practice for me, the trust. But I am always shown signs and synchronicities that are developing that muscle.
Yeah, I thank you for bringing that through because I think that I actually do believe that that's the whole human journey. What
Yeah.
is fear. It's a lack of trust. It's a
Yes.
lack of, and so the holy human journey is the alchemization of not trust and fear into love. So yeah, there it's we've got lots of lifetimes and lots of experiences of evidence that we've cultivated and looked for and perceived through the lens of, oh, that good thing I didn't trust them, or they're not trustworthy, or I can't trust myself even. Look at that, or I can't trust God. So it takes some time to kind of rebuild and to cultivate new experiences of an evidence of being able to trust. And I'm really thrilled to hear. I love that you get to use it even for the small things, because even the small things, sometimes we can be indecisive. If you're an indecisive person like me, being able to just tune in and notice
Mhm.
your physical yes and no, and to be able to be guided in every now moment, it is a gift. And the other thing that I love is that um, our divine team, they want to help us. They want to support us. They want to co-create this life experience with us. But if we don't actively and intentionally and deliberately connect with them and ask them for help, then they kind of, because of free will, just have to sit on the sidelines unless something really big happens where we almost kill ourselves. And we're like, oh, scoop in. Not yet, honey. Nice try. I'm pretty sure my angels have kept me alive many times over the years. But there's something to be said about knowing that, okay, you have this team, knowing that you're not alone, even in every now moment, even when we feel that we are, because some of you guys might live alone. I've lived alone and been without a partner for years. So knowing that we're not alone, knowing that we may not feel always as supported as we want to feel by the physical realms, by our loved ones, our partners, our parents, whatever, your friends, but to know that we have that level of support in the spiritual realms is, it really helps us sink into trust. It really helps us relax and know, okay, everything's happening for my greatest good. Everything's happening in my highest favor. Can you guide me? Yeah, show me which decision is for me, which is really nice. Do you?
Yeah, and to take action too.
Yep.
That's one of the key things is like follow the guidance and they're like, oh, she's listening. Let's give her more.
Yes, that's another great point, is that the universe
Yeah.
loves, like, if you, that's kind of the thing. It's like if your divine team keeps sending you signs and you keep ignoring them, they're going to stop sending you signs. And really your divine team, you're the one creating the signs, but neither here nor there, right? So if they're like, well, she's not listening, so why are we going to keep trying? So yeah, when you start to listen, when you start to take action on the guidance that you receive, then they're like, oh, she's an open channel. Yeah, let's do it. And then they'll just
Yeah,
keep sending you the guidance. And you don't even have to ask for the guidance. You don't
exactly.
even have to ask for it. But yes, we can and do. I mean, sometimes I'll think the question, do I want coffee or tea? And immediately Spirit's like, you've had enough coffee. In fact,
Yeah.
don't get the caffeine tea, get the herbal tea. And I'm like, oh, okay. Blue lotus and rose it is, you know? So yeah, I love that because, and again, and that's another thing about questions. I'm sure we all heard, ask and you shall receive.
Mhm.
Genuinely, it is a universal law of reality. Ask, you speak it out loud, and you will receive the answer. It may not come in the form that you think it might, and it might not come in a verbal picture, but it's going to come. And so you just have to be open and ready to receive it and take action, willing and ready to take action, courageous action. Oh, Annie, thank you so incredibly much. I mean, so many people here were just really grateful. They said that they resonate with what you shared. They resonate with your story. So many people here, guys, we are all divine mirrors for each other. We're all walking each other home. And if you are craving, if you are yearning embodiment, if you are craving and you are yearning deep soulful connection with God, the divine within you and outside of you, if you are craving and yearning to learn how to communicate and work with energy and your spirit guides, if you're just yearning for connection, to be seen, to be witnessed, and so much love, I mean, honestly, that's not always the most sexiest thing that I talk, but that is probably the most beneficial. I just saw today there was Dr. I forget his name, Herman. He said that talking about the difference between depression and happiness, and how having one conversation with a friend who cares and accepts you. I love the cat energy. He's like,
Sorry.
so no, it's perfect. All we saw was a tail. It's good. But yeah, like there's something to be said about like the power of connection, safe spaces, being seen, heard, witnessed. I mean, you guys, if you haven't experienced that yet, that very well may be the thing that you are missing, and that you will say, oh my gosh, that was the most valuable thing. And honestly, that's not even anything that I can do. That's just other than making sure that the prayerful intention is there for everybody who comes into the container to be a safe space, true heart-centered beings.
I have
So
to say that I was very healed.
yeah.
That was one thing that it was a very healing experience. And I didn't even know I needed healing in that respect.
And that isn't that funny? You're like, oh, you think you know what you're signing up for, and you're going to
Yep.
get out of the experience, but you never get what you think you need, what you want. You get what you need,
And it's even better.
and it's even
Even
better.
better and even greater than I thought.
Mm. And what's really beautiful, you guys, is that container is still open. They're all in a chat together. They're all still supporting each other. Wendy Lee, who's on here, Wendy U is what she's going by. Wendy, she her and Annie were in that container together, and they're all still supporting each other. They're all, I mean, the difficult challenges don't stop because the container stops. Life still keeps happening, and it gets expansive and beautiful, and we get to celebrate each other, and then it gets hard and challenging, and then we have each other. We have this soul family support and this container and these relationships that carry over and they last, which is just so incredibly beautiful. So thank you, Annie, so very much
You're welcome.
for agreeing to come on here today. But thank you so much for just being a part of my life. Thank you so much for the ways in which you've inspired me, and the way and how you show up. This woman, when she shows up, she doesn't put her half ass into it. She puts all of her soul into it. She's like, I'm here, and this is what I've chosen to do, and I'm gonna give it all I can. And I mean, the universe rewards that, you guys. It really does. And the universe rewards those that
Action. That take
they
action.
rewards action.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Oh, darling, thank you so much once again. I love you so incredibly much. You guys holding her in lots of prayers and love. Her beloved is wanting to go professional for fighting, which is amazing and exciting, and they're talking about starting a business. So
Mhm.
we're just going to send her lots of love, our love, and just holding her in the vision of her wild success, wild abundance, deep profound healing, and connection, relationships. May you continue to receive so many more deeply fulfilling connections and relationships in your life, because I know you, and that's such a big value for you, getting to connect with others and having intimate relationships with others. So just holding you in that vision of just the most abundant relationships that just fill you up with so much joy.
Yes.
Fawn Fawn's here too,
Thank
and
you.
he's
I remember Fan Fan.
yeah, I was gonna say, I bet you
He made
remember
such a
Fawn
great
Fawn.
impression on me.
He's amazing, beautiful soul. Fawn Fawn, since last year, he came into Angelic Reiki. He didn't come into Soul Alchemy or into New Earth Ascension Academy, but Fawn Fawn's said that since last year, he was inspired to write. He's been self-publishing on Amazon now. He's been doing all sorts of stuff, which is incredible. Your baby. Is she normally
Yeah.
like this?
He wants to.
Or he
Sometimes.
yeah.
Sometimes.
He's like,
When
I
he
don't
wants
know what's
attention.
going on, but it feels good. And so
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna be right
He
here.
wants to like nestle into this container and this energy.
Right, feeling all the energy, and they're helping move some energy too. That's kind of what I was perceiving. He was moving some of the energy
Mhm.
as he was literally circling your body.
Circling around,
Yeah, helping
creating
move.
a space.
Uh-huh. Well, Annie, thank you so much again. Appreciate you and love you infinitely and profoundly. And I'm excited. I still have a vision of getting to see you in person and squeeze you in person. And I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm excited for when it
I'm gonna
does.
hold that vision.
Yeah.
My love to you, to
Mm,
everyone here. Thank you so much.
my love to you. Thank you, Annie. This woman is incredible, you guys. I'm just blown away, actually. We've got 10 earth angels. I call you guys earth angels. We've got 10 earth angels so far that have signed up for Soul Alchemy. And I'm just blown away at the quality of beings, the quality of souls. These are truly beings that are incredibly advanced. I feel like beyond it being a program, it's a soul family convergence. beyond being a program, it is a mastermind, but I actually call them master hearts. It's a master heart because you are all masters. So many of the people that have said yes to this experience are incredible masters. I will be learning from you as much as we will be learning from each other. So if you are feeling the call, if anything that Annie shared spoke to you and you're like, that feels like exactly what I need, exactly what it is that I'm calling forward, then I invite you to get in my calendar. I invite you to meet with me one-on-one and we can explore greater clarity around whether or not this is the right step or right move for you. And again, I am so unattached. My only attachment is to your happiness and to serving your highest and greatest good and supporting in any possible way that I can to do that. And so the price of the program is going to go up in a couple of days. The reason I say that is because if you get in my calendar, you'll lock it in at 111. So lock it in. If you are unsure, if you're swimming around in uncertainty, get in my calendar. Get in my calendar. Okay, we've got a question. When will we receive more details for Soul Alchemy? Thank you. I'm going to be sending an email this weekend. So you guys will, I'll be drafting it this weekend. It might get sent on Monday, but I will be sending an email in the next couple of days. So we will start getting, we'll get our, and if you are traveling that weekend, then you will quite likely be missing the training. The training is 3 full days. Well, 2.5 days. The training is April 4th, Friday, April 4th will be from 4 to 7 p.m. Central Time, which is 2 p.m. Pacific. So we've got 4 to 7, so about 3 hours on Friday. And then we will be on Saturday and Sunday will be, and if you miss part of it, then let me know. We're going to talk about that. So if you're going to miss part of it, then we can either make some of it up. We'll talk. If you're going to miss the whole thing, then we'll talk again. And so you won't miss the opportunity to experience that training, but you might not get to experience it that weekend. You might have to make it up at a later date. So talk to me but I will send all of that out after the event is over and I have time to sit down and get that email out to all of you. And I'll also in that email send information for, somebody had a question. Other question is link to get the one book that was posted in a card, but never received a link. Yes, Danielle, that was Mike Perlin. That was day one. Message him directly. Message him on Facebook. I put his Facebook in there. Message Mike and he will mail out your book. So he doesn't have a link for it. It's just a direct message to him. So yeah, go ahead and message him and he'll support you there. All right. We're going to go into a practice now. We'll make it a shorter one. But I do want you guys to just really anchor into a little bit more embodiment. And then I'm going to share the ritual. Actually, I'm going to share the ritual first so that if you guys got to go, you can. So the ritual, the final ritual, our final day 8 ritual. It's a really beautiful one, you guys. This came through just today. I had a general idea of what it was going to be like, but I rewrote all the rituals this year. Spirit told me to. I was like, no, that's more work. But I'm so glad I did because they're so good this year. So this year, the ritual, the final daily embodiment ritual is a sacred anointing. It's a body temple consecration. Step 1 is to prepare sacred space. I invite you to get a mirror and some anointing oil. It can be rose oil. It can be frankincense. If you don't have any oil, then it could just be blessed water. You can just take water and put it out in the sun and let it fill up. But oil is definitely preferred, but you can bless water and do that too. So the invitation is to first light a candle, call in God, call in creator, call in your divine team to witness you. They're going to witness you. They're going to be your witnesses. Then you're going to breathe deeply into your heart, breathe into your central column, make that rainbow bridge of light. And I put 5 minutes, but however long you need to really presence yourself in your body. You want to be fully present. Call back your energy from all people, places, dimensions, realities. Cut or dissolve is my preferred language. Dissolve any cords of attachment. Just come into full and total energetic sovereignty so that you are in your safe space. Then you're going to take a drop of oil and you're going to gently anoint all of your chakras, all 7 chakras, your hands, your feet as well. You've got chakras here and you've got chakras on your feet. The inside of the palms and the underside of the feet. You can also do the top as well. Top is usually what they do for anointing, but I just saw a visual of you guys doing it on the bottom of your feet. So that's the guidance I'm receiving. Gently anoint. And as you do, you can say, I anoint myself as the embodiment of my divine self. You can say this on each point, or you can just say it one time, whatever feels good to you. But I anoint myself as the embodiment of my divine self. My body is a temple for source's power, love, power, and wisdom. And the love, power, and wisdom is the trifecta, the trinity of the mother, father, and Christed energy. I walk as love. I am source or God, whatever feels good to you. I am sovereign. I am free. The invitation then is to look deeply into your own eyes in a mirror and to speak these words to your soul self through your eyes, the gateways to your soul. I am embodied. I am fully here. I am fully present. I honor my human form as a vessel of my divinity or a vessel of God. I live, move, and create as my divine God self. My light is anchored. My presence is a gift. I am heaven on earth. You are heaven on earth. And then you're going to seal that ritual with gratitude and reverence and then blow out the candle. And the blowing out of the candle is like a releasing of your guides. And then come and share with us in the Facebook how this ritual felt for you. I also am going to post it in the email and in all the places, Facebook group. I have a divine decree. If you are somebody that struggles being in your body, if you're somebody who struggles with disassociation, that you don't feel safe in your body, I'm going to be sharing also in all of those places a divine decree that you can read before this. You can add this as part of your preparing your sacred space. Add this divine decree in, and it'll help you reclaim some sovereignty around your choice to be fully embodied and feeling safe in your body. So I'm going to share that too. I wrote that earlier today. It's really beautiful, or I edited it. So I'm going to share that with you as well. So this is a beautiful embodiment ritual, utilizing the power of your voice, utilizing divine decrees to support you in reclaiming that you are a child of God, here to be embodied as a human, fully divine. This afternoon, we've got Bonnie Divina Mont. This is our last mirror session, divine mirror session. We do have Michelle Infinity coming tomorrow, but it's going to be less of a divine mirror session. It's going to be in our morning session. Bonnie is incredible. Bonnie is a beautiful being. She just wrote a beautiful book. She's a shamanic healing facilitator. She supports in medicine ceremonies and she does somatic work, quantum healing. She is amazing. And Bonnie's house burned down last week. Her entire house, her entire livelihood. It was a temple. It completely burned down. She is going to be with us today, but she's going to be taking it from the phone from her car because they are sifting through all of the lost items and working with the insurance. The insurance told them that they're only going to be able to reclaim about 10% of their entire belongings. Their cars burned, everything burned. And so they're in a place of rebuilding. And she does have a GoFundMe page. And I'm going to be sharing that later. It's already on the replay page now. We're going to share that for her session. If you have any means, $5, $10, any way in which you can support her, and you're going to get to hear directly from her. You don't have to do that now. But I know yesterday, it's kind of perfect timing. We talked about doing 3 acts of generosity. And yes, we talked about them not needing to be money and monetary, and they don't. But if you are somebody that you're like, I have an extra $5, I have an extra $10, this woman And the work that she does is so sacred. She's helped so many heal, and they're trying to rebuild that practice. They want to open their temple again. They were doing all of the medicine journeys from their home temple. So she lost all of her means to make any money as well. So there, it's going to take some time, and she's incredible. And yeah, thank you so much, Danielle. It's talk about the year of transformation. Talk about the fires of alchemy. Talk about letting go of all that doesn't serve. Spirit ablazed her life, literally. So I love this woman, and she is such a gift and so divine, and breaks my heart that she's navigating that. But she's got a really incredible community standing behind her. And then after that, we've got Alchemia Earth, who's absolutely incredible as well. She is a certified master energy healer and spiritual alchemist. She is an alchemist. That's why she goes by Alchemia, which tickles me that we've got. And she is the founder of an academy called the Ascension Academy. She's got over 2 decades of training and experience in energy medicine. And she has been featured in Psychology Today, medium.com. She's even gone to the Obama White House. She's apprenticed with internationally renowned author and healer Cindy Dale. If you're familiar with Cindy Dale, she is known, she's brought forth the extended chakra system. And she's studied, Kung Fu, Tai Chi, Qigong, all of the beautiful things. So she's incredible. She's going to be with us and speaking right after Bonnie. So that's what we've got this afternoon for our final Divine Mirror session. And that's our final ritual. So I invite all of you guys to use today to catch up on your rituals, to use today to, complete your rituals. And again, I will be drawing tonight, and I will announce the winner on our call tomorrow. And I will also send it out in the emails, and I'll direct message the winner as well. So you don't have to be live to win. And tomorrow, again, we're going to have, tomorrow is all about being divinely supported. You are fully supported. What do you need for support? Getting clear on what you need for support. And then we will, I'll announce the winner, and then we'll have Michelle. Michelle Infinity was with us on day 1. She lent her gorgeous, ethereal, shamanic voice to open our container. She's going to have about 30 minutes tomorrow, and she's going to lead us and guide us through an experience. And then she's going to close the container ceremonially, because this is a ceremony. This is a ceremony. What we've done here is very sacred, deeply intentional work of remembering and activating the truth and remembrance within us. So Michelle's going to help us close out the container in ceremony, as all ceremonies should have a closing and an opening and a closing. And so I really look forward to you guys coming back and experiencing her. And that will be it. That will be our completion of this year's I Am activation, this year's journey. And for those of you who experienced last year, I hope that you really enjoyed the differences. This year was quite different in a lot of ways. And so I really hope that this was deeply nourishing. And I will send out emails to get feedback from some people, from you guys. And so there'll be lots more ways to engage and play. And I want to remind you that the price of Soul Alchemy will go up, but if you schedule a call with me, then I will lock you in at the price it's at now. And we, again, do have a extra bonus ritual ceremony for spring equinox next week. So you would just need to be signed up before then to be able to get the invitation to participate, because it's going to be just for those that have said yes to Soul Alchemy. And that's all I've got, all the 3D stuff. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to close all of this out so I can pull up my notes. Let me see if there's anything else that I needed to answer, respond to over here. Okay. Thank you, Alondra. Yeah, I'll see if we have time for Erica's question. That might be something that her and I need to address one-on-one. Erica, you hear me, right, love? That's a very unique situation, and it feels okay. Yeah, I'm receiving right now that, Erica, it would be best for us to talk about that your question one-on-one. So if you're not yet in my calendar, get in there. And if you are in my calendar, then please bring that question with you, and we can go deeper into that exploration, because that's very personal to you and very specific to you. And so, yeah, let's save that for our time together, because it's definitely off topic from what we were talking about today too. So, but I want to support you, and I want you to receive support and be mirrored and be reflected. All right, so let's go ahead, you guys, and I'm going to pull up. I had a sweet earth angel message me and say that she's not a fan of the music, but this is a really important. I like this song. So let me see if we got something else. Oh, I'm willing to shake some things up. Let's see. It's just not anything that's long enough. Okay. We're just going to do a different one. That's fine. Still going to be Earth Star Academy, but we'll do a different song. I love that we all have such different experiences about things, but I think it's really important that we also share those experiences. And the woman who I'm talking to knows exactly who I'm talking to. We've got a call scheduled on Friday, so I'm excited to meet with her. We'll talk more about your experience. All right. If you're in a place and space to do so, I invite you to go ahead and close down your eyes and bring your awareness from your external landscape to your internal landscape, bringing it into your heart, bringing your head into the heart, relaxing. You are safe, calling in, evoking creator, source, to be felt within you and around you, knowing that you are held in this space, nothing can harm you. You are protected. Deep belly breaths, activating the vagus nerve, again, signaling that you are safe. I invite you now to tune into today's I Am Source Codex. I am fully human and fully divine. I am fully human and fully divine. You can say it out loud and just noticing how true that feels to you right now. Perhaps it feels really true. It's like a 9 or a 10. So now I invite you to ask, do I have any resistance towards this belief? Do I have any resistance toward the truth that I am fully human and fully divine? And just notice what comes up for you. Notice what comes up for you. Do you feel any tightness? Do you feel any part of you that presents itself? Perhaps the ego is like, nope, we're not divine. We are just human. Just extending the invitation to all parts of you to present themselves. Any resistance towards your divinity, any resistance towards your humanity. You might be experiencing both resistance towards your humanity and your divinity. Just noticing what's there for you. We're going to tap into the emotions, the emotional body. Is there any part of you that feels unworthy? Unworthy of the divinity that you are? Is there any part of you that feels shameful or guilty? Like, I've done some things and there's no way that I am fully divine. The divine wouldn't do what I did. The divine wouldn't cheat or lie or drink. Is there any part of you that's carrying shame or blame or judgment around yourself because you feel like you do things that are not divine? What about lack of trust? Just noticing if there's any lack of trust, any self-doubt, any fear or betrayal, abandonment, anger, rage. What exists within you? What part of you is saying, I am not safe to be fully human. I am not safe to be fully divine. I invite you, you can start tapping on the side of your hand or you're on your chest, whatever feels best for you, with your eyes closed, just feeling those emotions, welcoming each emotion of shame, blame, unworthiness, guilt, self-doubt, fear, betrayal, abandonment, welcoming it all. walking through each emotion as the light of God that you are. I invite you to say out loud, even though I don't feel safe, I love and accept myself fully. Even though part of me doesn't feel like Earth is my home, I love and accept myself fully. Even though part of me feels shame and guilt and fear, I choose to love and accept myself fully. And now you can move through the tapping points at your own pace, tapping on the head, the back of the head, the neck, just allowing yourself to still focus on those emotions, focusing on the parts of you that feel unworthy, focusing on the parts of you that feel shameful, that feel betrayed, abandoned, focusing on the parts of you that doesn't feel safe, welcoming them, not rejecting them, telling them you're welcome here. And I'm going to repeat some beliefs, and I want you to notice what in your body feels true, what in your body, when I say these phrases, does it feel true to you? And just tuning into where they live in your body while tapping, while breathing, and while moving. My body is not safe. I can't trust it. Does part of you believe that your body is not safe and you can't trust it? Tapping, breathing, moving. What about, I must escape the pain. I must escape the discomfort so I can find peace. Does part of you still feel that escapism is safety? Breathing, moving, tapping. What about being in my body means I feel too much? My emotions, they're too intense. They're too much for me. I can't feel all of that pain. Is there any part of you that is afraid of feeling your emotions, that is afraid of being in your body because you'll have to feel fully? Breathing, moving, tapping. What about, is there a part of you that believes, I don't belong here? Earth is not my home. Earth is not my true home. Is there any part of you that feels like an alien on your own planet? Breathing, moving, tapping. Clearing all of that out, creating safety in the body. Is there any part of you that believes that our emotions are overwhelming and it's safer to stay in the mind? Is there any part of you that doesn't feel safe in your body? That doesn't feel safe to trust your body? We're going to talk to these parts of us now. Talk to all of these parts and say, I feel you. I feel you. I see you. I hear you. And I understand. I get it. Yeah. Being a human, being embodied in this physical 3D separation and duality, it's hard. It's heavy. It's challenging. I get it. It's easier to just stay in the mind. It's easier to just stay in the mind so we can keep ourselves safe. But what if there's nothing to protect ourselves from? What if we were already safe? What if? How good would it feel to be safe in your own body? How good would it feel to know that whatever comes your way, you've got you? How good would it feel to take risks and chances and to live life knowing that you are divine? To live life knowing that you are unlimited. Do all of those parts of you want that too? What if on the other side of your embodiment and feeling safe in your body and reclaiming your humanity and divinity, what if on the other side of that was happiness, joy, fulfillment, and safety and trusting? Why don't we go ahead and let all of those beliefs go? Why do we go ahead and let all of that go? I think we're ready. Do you guys think you're ready? Inviting all of the resistance to dissipate, to dissolve, to leave your body right now. Any resistance to your own divinity, any resistance to your own humanity. You are both. You are that rainbow bridge. Let's cancel, clear, and delete any definitions around untrustworthy. Let's cancel, clear, and delete any definitions around unsafety. Just removing all of that from our consciousness. We're going to tap in new empowered statements now, breathing, tapping, moving. We're going to choose the reality that you are ready for. Repeating out loud, my body is a sacred vessel. I am safe within my body. When I am fully present, I have access to the unlimited consciousness of God. When I am fully present in my body, I experience pleasure, bliss, and happiness. I am an embodiment of the divine and physical form. I am a sacred vessel for divine energy. The more I listen to my body, the more aligned I become. The more I listen to my intuition, the more easeful a life I experience. My emotions are sacred messengers. I trust my emotions. I allow my emotions to flow through me. I am worthy of being fully here, exactly as I am. I'm worthy of being accepted exactly as I am. My body is intelligent and always communicating with me. I am meant to be here. I belong here. I chose to be here. I am a divine soul playing in the playground of life. I am infinite consciousness experiencing life through me. I am both the creator and the experiencer of my reality. Breathing, moving, tapping. I am a holy divine human. I am also fully divine. One with God. I am source. I am a sovereign creator. I am free of all limitation. I am ready to be fully embodied as my higher God self. I am safe to express my God self. I invite you to go ahead and complete the tapping and the moving and closing down your eyes, or with your eyes still closed, just noticing what's shifted in your body. And now you could say once again, I am fully human and fully divine. I am fully human and fully divine. I am embodied. I am embodied. I am safe to be embodied. Just noticing how true that feels to you. Noticing that the resistance has dissipated, has lightened, that you feel even more present in your body, even more safe to be here, welcome here, even wanted here. I invite you all to thank Creator, to thank the divine, to thank yourself. Thank you. Thank you for choosing this life. Thank you for being a soul of service. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your bravery. Thank you for your willingness to do this work for not only yourself, but your entire family, your loved ones, your friends, your community, and the entire universe. Because what we do here on this planet is impacting our entire universe. When each of us find peace within ourselves and we're no longer at war within us, the war outside will stop. And when we find peace on earth, we will be a blueprint, a model for peace across our universe. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of who you are and the choices you've made, your willingness to be embodied as a human. I can literally hear and feel your divine team celebrating you, your angels, your guides, your ancestors saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being the boots on the ground. Thank you for choosing physicality. Thank you for letting us work through you, with you, co-creating a new earth experience together. Thank you for inviting them into your life. Thank you. Just allowing yourself to fill up with that love, receive their pride. They're so proud of you. How does that feel? To know that your true mother and father, Creator God, is so proud of you. Your parents are so proud of you. They love you. They're celebrating you. Feel celebrated. Feel held. Feel so loved. Let that fill you up and let that overflow carry with you throughout your day and all that you do and all that you are. sharing that love with everybody you meet. Let's take a big deep breath in with a sigh, a tone to crystallize this new state of consciousness and being. Big deep breath in. Hmm. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And whenever you're ready, you can open back up your eyes and come back into the present moment, into the space. Oh, how are you doing, darlings? Thank you for staying on. I know we've gone over quite a bit each day. I'm just grateful for you guys, deeply and profoundly grateful. I saw tears, the sweetness of emotions moving through us when we feel safe enough to feel, when we feel safe enough. That's when all the stuff that we suppressed and repressed, all the stuff, the incomplete nervous system response, all of that rises to the surface because it says, oh, this is the time. Okay, she's ready. She's ready for that. She can do it now. Okay, let's go. And sometimes that safety is created in group containers and spaces. So, you guys, I love you. I love you. I love you all so much. Danielle says the shift was acceptance for her, that she loves all of her and her mistakes and let go of what doesn't serve her. She feels so relaxed, more safe, more at peace. Amazing. It's a perfect reflection of what Annie shared, right? She realized that she had to accept herself first. She had to love herself first. She had to not be so angry at herself. And then in her own work, she was then able to not be so angry and to accept and love everyone around her. Yeah, Arno, releasing, lots of releasing. We release in so many different ways. For me, it's yawning. You might notice sometimes when I'm talking to the speakers, I try to hold my yawns in, even though I know that they know what it is. But because there's so much energy moving when I'm talking to them often, I'm like, wanting to just yawn the whole time. Grounding is helpful for that. If you feel yourself releasing out here, then just reestablishing that grounding cord can help the energy transmute to the earth. Awesome. Okay. You found where to make the one-on-one call. Good. Yay. I'm so glad. I look forward to getting to meet with you guys one-on-one. Cassandra says she says, thank you in all caps, which is amazing. She said she had a good cry. She had a good cry. Yeah. Our tears are so healing. They're balm to our soul. Mhm. I'm so glad. Like, is that amazing that we live in a world where we can congratulate people from crying? Yay, you cried. Awesome. Like let's reverse the programming that we've received that that crying's bad, sad is bad, right? Let's instead celebrate your tears. I celebrate your tears. I celebrate your yawns. I celebrate the beauty of this human experience. Can we just celebrate how beautiful this human experience is? We can eat things and taste things, and we can look at things, and we can hold things, and we can touch our loved ones, and we can cuddle with our cats. How amazing is this human experience? We can walk with our feet on the grass, and we can feel the sun. Those are things that we don't get to do as spirit. Those are the things as angels, they're like, oh my gosh, like, tell us how it is. How awesome is that? Because we only get to do that as humans. This human experience offers us so much beauty. We get to pick flowers, we can smell, like, we've got all of these amazing, beautiful physical experience. We get to taste food. So good, so good. There's a beauty in the human experience beyond just the pain that we chose to alchemize. There's so much beauty in this human experience. So go out, be human, be embodied, embrace your humanness, embrace every part of you that you believed made you imperfect or wrong or bad or less than, all the parts that you've judged about yourself. Love those parts of you. You're sensitive, fall in love with your sensitivity. You feel like people take advantage of you because you're so loving and gullible, fall in love with that. That's a gift. What a gift. Fall in love with the parts of you that you forgot were your superpowers in disguise. Mm. Bentley says, thank you for creating such a magical container filled with so much love and acceptance. Thank you all, meaning all of you, for holding so much space with love. Oh, it's our pleasure. It really is. Paul had a nice cry too, feeling the awesomeness of the mission again. Amazing, Paul. I love that. Paul, I'm so excited. Paul is I believe you're still a yes, Paul, right? You're still all in. Awesome. Paul is in. Paul is in soul alchemy. And I'm so excited about that. Paul, as of right now, okay, thank you. I wanted to bring this up. You're the only man in the group. How does that feel? Yeah, yeah. Well, and the reason I'm saying that is because I always have at least 2 to 3 men in my containers, and we only have one right now. I feel in my field that there's another masculine embodied being that is meant to be a heaven yes for this experience. And it might be one of you listening right now. I mean, there's so much healing in co-ed spaces, profound healing in co-ed spaces, because we're healing the mother wound, we're healing the father wound, we're healing the relationship wound. Many of us have had partners that didn't end well, that most of us at least had a couple failed relationships, or and we don't want to call them failed, maybe we perceive them that way, but a couple of relationships that taught us a lot. When we come together, men and women in a container, there's so much healing that transpires. We realize that we're actually not even that different as much as we tend to think we are. So if there's a masculine embodiment on this call, it's like, I don't know if soul alchemy is for me. Her branding and marketing's got pink in it, and it's kind of feels it's for you. It's for you. The branding, the marketing has nothing to do about the experience it's going to unfold. It really doesn't. It's just simply a marketing container to hold the energy of transformation for what's going to unfold. And one of my favorite things to do is to support men. In the last 2 years, I opened up my work to men, and that has been probably my greatest joy, is getting to serve the masculine. And what I really also know to be true is oftentimes men, when they're ready to heal the feminine wound, when they're ready to heal the mother wound, they will gravitate towards women as mentors, because there's a particular energy that we hold. Like, I get to hold you and love you and accept you exactly as you are. And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have to do anything or be anything. I'm accepted fully as myself. And it really does help heal that mother wound. It helps heal the relationship feminine wound that we carry. For me, I only had women as mentors until I was ready 2 years ago to start working with men. And the other way, I started serving men, and then I started being served by men, which was an incredible shift for me. And and it was only when I was ready. So if you feel that you're ready, if you feel that this is okay, what would it be like to be in a container with maybe more women than men? What would it be like to be held in a container by a woman? Well, you better believe I've been talking about this for about a year now. I'm in my kingmaker era. I'm in my kingmaker era. I've been in the queenmaker era for years. I'm in my kingmaker era, meaning I'm here to remind you that you are a king, that you are a king, that you are the sovereign king, men, kings rooted in heart, recognizing that power is not power over people, but instead the true power comes from love, compassion. So if you are ready, I agree, Heather. Heather says boys love pink. And you know what's actually even funnier to me? Within the cosmology of the threefold founder flame from Ascension Glossary, which I do find to be more resonant with me, they actually say that the mother frequency is the blue flame. It is the aquamarine flame. They say the feminine is the blue and the masculine is the pink, and it is a magenta pink flame. And then the Christed child is the gold. It's the gold energy. So if you've ever seen the threefold founder flame, it's these three colored energies that come together. And this is the threefold founder flame is been around. It's Kabbalistic. It's been around for a long time. But if you've ever seen those colors, I resonate differently, that the feminine, or again, they all hold feminine and masculine within them. They're not there because it's when you go to those states and places that it's not actually it's not polarized, but so they have and maintain both. But yeah, so it's kind of interesting that way, that I there it's a programming in our brain to believe that pink is feminine and that blue is masculine. We've been trained to believe that, right? So we want to overcome that. Pink, and the reason pink was coming so clear for me to bring pink, we're working with pink, we're working with orange, we're working with yellow. Orange, yellow are the lower chakras. We're working with the sacral, shame, blame, right? We're working with and then we're working with our power. And then the pink is this all pervading energy of just unconditional love. So when I choose colors, and we're also going to be working with teal. So when I choose colors, it's really chosen by the frequencies in which the container is carrying. So yeah, a lot of orange, a lot of yellow, a lot of red as we anchor into the lower chakras. And then pink is like the version of red, right? It's like, to me, I see pink as red and white. So the red and white coming together to make pink. So we're going to be working with those lower areas, the lower regions, which is why pink came through, because that color is just really beautiful. It's a beautiful energy. Yes, Paul, this is a time for greatness. This is the time, Thea, time for greatness. So good. It's such a good song. That's one to dance to. A lot of the songs in that playlist are, kind of softer. And then you've got the ones that are a little more upbeat. And that's one that you turn on and you're like, yeah, it is time for greatness. It's always been the time for greatness. We just forgot. Fon Fon said he sings that song all the time. I love that. Amazing beings. And Danielle says, I think it's great when men are accepting of the journey. Go, guys. Big hugs. Be you. Yeah. We often find there's just more women in spiritual spaces. And there just has been in spirituality. You can look. I have a friend who has an event company here in Houston. And I asked him, I was like, I'm really curious to know what percentage of the presenters and the people signed up and what percentage men versus women. He was like, women blow it out of the water. I'm like, yeah, I know. We're shifting. The women are having to awaken into the spiritual places and spaces first, a lot of us. And then we're lovingly inviting the men to rise. Not that there's a rising that needs to happen, but we're inviting them to rise in love, which is the difference. And men have been, it's different energy. So it's, when we think of masculine and feminine energy, the polarity of oftentimes the masculine is the container and the feminine is the flow. So women, we tend to be a little bit more natural because we are portals and we have portals within our body to connect, to bring birth new life. We tend to have a connection, and more easier access to that connection. But we aren't meant to do it by ourselves. We're meant to do it in union and partnership. We find that union within us, and then we find that union outside of us, and not necessarily in relationships, but in our intimacy, not in a partnership, but in all our relationships. You better believe that I have many men in my life that are my very best friends, that I wouldn't be where I am today without them. They stepped up and supported me and were that masculine strength when I was needing it. So yeah, it's really great to see the co-ed spaces. I'm devoted to co-ed spaces. Devoted. I like the feminine spaces too, but I'm devoted to co-ed spaces. That's probably too. Yeah. Paul says Mormons show interest in the UFO side. But he's seeing people moving from the UFO into more spirituality. UFOs are a gateway drug. It is that and conspiracy theories. That is it. My brother was over here this weekend and we were talking about that, how conspiracy theories are like the gateway into spirituality. My sister started going off on all of these conspiracy theorist podcasts and she's obsessed with them. And then my brother, my family was over on Saturday to celebrate my mom's birthday and my grandfather's birthday. And my sister was outside asking my brother about reincarnation. And Spitzer comes in and he goes, Lauren's asking about reincarnation. I was like, I told you, conspiracy theory podcast is a gateway drug. she's like, what if there's more out there? So it was just a really exciting moment for my brother. But I've been talking to my sister, and that's the funny thing is that you're planting seeds. I've been talking to my sister about reincarnation for years, but I planted the seed, and now she's like, maybe there's something to that. So, which is really amazing, incredible. So I'm excited to hear more about, get to participate in her curiosity, however that continues to unfold without attachment. Again, she's on her own unique journey. And so I'm just here to support her in any way I can. Danielle, I will say, Danielle says that she raised her boys to show emotion, be spiritual, and keep their masculinity as gentlemen. Danielle, you've done an amazing job with your children, darling. I'm just really grateful for you being a model of the new paradigm of parenting. Allowing your boys to be emotional, allowing all of your children to be able to show and express emotion as a sign of not weakness, but vulnerability and humanity is just really beautiful. So thank you, Danielle, for being a role model for the world in which we are all here to create, which is one that is more accepting and loving and kind and emotionally attuned and available and intuitive and connected and embodied and moving from the heart rather than moving from the mind. Cheers to the world in which we are all here to create. I love you guys deeply, profoundly. We've got 2 more sessions, 2 more calls. We've got our Divine Mirror session this afternoon with Bonnie Divina Ma, Alchemia Earth. And then tomorrow we'll be back for our final session, our final call, our final moment of connection to close out our ceremonial container. But guess what? This container always exists. This exists outside of time and space, the energy, the frequency, the love that the safety, everything that's been curated and cultivated. You can tap back in through the replays, or you can just tap back in through your intentionality. If you ever are feeling alone or like you're not feeling safe or you're feeling disconnected, you can literally set the intention. All you have to say is I am activation. Just saying those words, I am activation, will instantaneously bring you back into the frequencies of what you are experiencing here. That's all you have to do. So if you ever need to feel held and supported and loved and connected, this container does and will continue to exist as a ethereal, crystalline structure within our collective consciousness. So we might be done in the physical, but we'll always be connected within the higher dimensional planes and realms. And so many of you, we travel together. We know each other. This isn't our first rodeo, which is literally rodeo season right now in Houston. So I love that phrase. But this isn't our first rodeo. We've done this before. We are doing this now. We know each other. We've known each other. We're in the temples together. We're in the tribes together, the indigenous tribes together. We've journeyed for lifetimes, eons, many of us beyond this planet, before this planet. We know each other. So it's an honor to be here in this physical form with all of you. It really is. It's such an honor. I love you guys. I love you so, so much. Get in my calendar if you haven't already. I really look forward to seeing you guys one-on-one. I'll be sending out an email with all of the details and information for those that have already signed up for Soul Alchemy. If you want to talk about Soul Alchemy, get in my calendar. And yeah, I welcome you. Email me, message me on social media. I'm here. I'm available. I'm here to support. I love you guys so much. All right. That's all we've got. We're back here in about 2 hours and 24 minutes for our next session. Anybody have something really pressing and just like really wants to say something, wants to raise their hand. They're like, I want to be heard about anything, anyone. You can just unmute if so. Okay. All right. I love you.